Everyone says it's impossible to break into top tech, that it's all about who you know, what school you went to, how many years you've grinded in a FANG like team. Well, they're wrong. The people who break in, they're not always the most technical, they're not the loudest, they're not the ones with the fanciest resumes. They've just learned how to think differently. And that's what I'm going to give you today, a new way to see yourself, your value, and how to win. Here's what we'll talk through. We'll talk about why most people are unknowingly playing a broken game. We'll talk about what top companies really want and never say out loud. The hidden system successful product managers use to win offers, and why all of this makes it easier than you've been led to believe. Let's rebuild how you approach this. So, you want to know why you're getting ghosted? It's not because you're not good enough. It's not because you're missing some magical number of years. It's because you're playing a game that was rigged from the start. Let me break it down for you. Most people apply to jobs online. Now, sounds logical, right? There's all these job boards, LinkedIn, Indeed, except the same job you're applying to has over 1,000 other applicants. You're putting your name into a pile where no one knows you, no one trusts you, and everyone looks just like you. That's not a strategy, that's a lottery ticket. Now, there's another trap. There's a common mindset that I see that I'm a strong generalist. I can do anything you need. I'm an awesome product manager. Sounds flexible, sounds safe, but here's the truth. Saying I can do anything makes you invisible. The product managers who get interviews, especially at places like Google, Amazon, Meta, are the ones who say, this is the specific problem I solve. Here's where I solved it before. Here's what happened. Specialists get 10 times more interviews. And it's not because they're more talented or they're smarter. It's because they're clearer. Another mistake? Leading with how many years you've worked. I have 8 years of experience. Cool. And top companies don't hire based on time served. That's what they make you think. But they hire based on problem solved and decisions made. The market doesn't reward tenure, it rewards relevance. Now, let's talk about another trap, copying what everyone else does. You look at other people's resumes, their LinkedIn, their bullets, then you copy, paste, reword, and try to sound just like them. Once you have the template, you're going to win. Or that's what you think. The irony is that you blend in even more. If you sound like everyone else, you'll be ignored just like everyone else. The real game is positioning yourself as the obvious choice. Here's a mindset shift. You don't need to be the best. You need to be the clearest fit for a specific problem. That's what our clients do differently, and it changes absolutely everything. Let me tell you about Kalyan. So Kalyan, when he first came to us, he said, look, I've done a little bit of B2B, B2C, some platform work, B2B to C. I'm flexible. He thought that would help him. But hiring managers didn't know where to place him. No angle, no hook. He was just blending in. We helped him shift 3 things. Pick one clear problem he was uniquely great at solving. Build a narrative around that. One that connected the dots across all his experiences. Show up as a person who helps companies navigate complex growth transitions. He stopped saying, I can do anything. He started saying, I can help growth stage products scale without breaking retention. Result? Interviews at some top companies. Offer from a FANG, took it, and leveled up. So if you've been trying to be good enough, if you've been listing tools, platforms, and buzzwords, and if you've been quietly hoping that your resume will speak for itself, let me say this clearly. The game you were taught to play is broken. The real game is clarity. It's positioning. It's owning a problem so clearly that a recruiter says, this is the person we need. We'll show you how. Let's keep going. Here's something no recruiter will ever say out loud. They're overwhelmed. They've read 200 resumes this week that all say the same thing. Great communicator, strong cross-functional skills, agile. Look, they don't want another product manager. They want someone who gets their business, who gets their product, who gets the problem they're facing. Let that land. Top companies are not looking for features. They're looking for thinking. What makes them lean in is the following. Can you identify and name the real problem that their product might be facing right now? Can you lead without authority? Can you turn chaos into clarity. They don't need someone to do the job, they need someone to help them win. That could be you if you start telling the right story. I want to help you take action on what we've covered so far. If you're serious about landing your dream product management role, it might be at a top tech company, a startup, established company. Book a free strategy session where we will map out exactly what you need to do to position yourself to land these roles. And even if we can't help you directly or immediately, we'll leave you with clarity that you can use right away. The link is in the description, so book your session now because often spots fill up and they're filled up for a week in advance. This is the part no one tells you. You already have enough experience. You just haven't been taught how to show it. You don't need to memorize frameworks. You need to communicate the decisions you made, the actions you took, and the outcomes that followed. Instead of, I launched this feature, try saying we were losing users in the first few days after they activated. I paused new dev work to run a simple experiment, and we saw a 12% lift in week 1 retention. I aligned the team around how we could take this further, took it further, and ultimately ended up seeing a 27% lift in week 1 retention. Now, that's not just experience, that's ownership. And then here's the part that unlocks everything. Great product managers don't apply, they get referred in. And not because they know people, it's because they show up with clarity, relevance, and value. And here's the core mindset, they make it easy for the referrers to say yes. You could use this 2-line message to unlock warm introductions with anyone. Here, I've been exploring product management roles focused on a specific domain, specific problem, and notice your team is tackling something to do with the company's strategic goal. That maps closely to my last role and now you insert your relevant results. Would love to connect or share a 1-page brief with a few ways I'd drive impact. That's it. Short, specific, respectful. You're not begging, you're aligning, you're leading. But this does mean you need to change how you think about the job search. See, every product you've ever launched ideally had a goal, a business goal, a target user, a go-to-market strategy, a feedback loop. Why don't you run your job search the same way? You map the companies that you want to go after, the kind of roles you're going to go after, build assets like your angle of mastery, launch with referral asks, iterate on your pitch, treat each interview like a test of product market fit. It might work, it might not work. Either ways, you'll progress. This is not a grind, it's a strategy. And once you see it like this, you'll never go back to random applications again. Now, here's the part that surprises people. This is actually easier. Why? Well, it's because 90% of people will keep doing what doesn't work. They'll keep applying online, they'll keep being vague, and they'll keep copying what they think worked for someone else. That means the moment you step into this new mindset, you remove 90% of your competition. You're no longer just a product manager. You become a trusted guide, a sharp thinker, a clear communicator, a problem solver, and companies are desperate for that. So here's your challenge. Stop asking, am I good enough? Because that doesn't lead you anywhere. Start asking, what business problems am I uniquely great at solving? How can I communicate those problems such that they are impossible to ignore? Where do I want to make my mark next? Because once you flip that switch, you don't chase roles anymore. You attract them. And if you want help installing this mindset, this system, this way of thinking, well, make sure you click the link below to book a call with us. But most importantly, own your value, position it, and go win the game that was always meant for you. Look, I've seen this work for over 1,000 product managers. Some doubled their salary, others finally broke into their dream companies, and many went from 0 interviews to multiple offers in a few weeks to a month. The difference wasn't their experience, it was their approach. If you want to be one of our next success stories, click that link in the description to book your free strategy session. We'll show you exactly how to position yourself as the obvious choice for top tech companies. And if you want to see the exact steps I would take if I had to land a new product management role today, check out this video right here where I break down my complete playbook.